Hello survivors, and welcome to another video. In today's video we are playing Striving for Light Survival. It is an arena based survival mode. It is currently only a demo, but it is available on the Steam Next Fest, so go take a look at it. We're going to do some gameplay and my thoughts on the game and some things that I think that would make it really good. It has a really interesting art style. It does have a lot of potential, but it is only a demo right now, so there is quite a lot still to that can be improved, as well as, you know, once the demo is released or in early access, we'll have a lot more weapons and a lot more skills to choose from than we currently do right now. So what happens is we'll have a look at the skill tree. We're going to just play with the first character and using a flail just because I like it, and we'll use the normal staff as well. I don't think there's any real reason. We don't even have that many melee skills either, so there you go. It's just going to add 5 more random things to the skill tree for us, because that's how it works. What happens is you put skills into the skill tree and then it creates a random skill tree based on those skills. So we're going to play on the basement on the hardest difficulty, and we're going to take a look. So it says WASD to move, tab to toggle the map, which you don't really need, and then the mouse wheel is to zoom and space is to dodge. So we do have 3 dodges. They're there in the bottom, and these little light crystals are our source of experience. So we got to make sure that we collect all of them. Alright, so we've got 3 levels over here in the corner, but it's fine, it does tell you over here. And this is the random skill tree. So now it kind of reminds you of Path of Exile if you've ever played that. Now what happens is, let's say I click on the increased melee damage, just take a look at the skill tree. As I do that, it starts to randomly expand, giving you randomly generated nodes. So now we go for attack speed, and we got some more nodes that randomly generated. So that's really cool. So we took melee damage, we took attack speed, and we took scattering hit. Now something important to note is when you're playing this, attack speed is very important, because nearly every single skill or upgrade that you pick up is going to have a negative attack speed. So one of the best things to do is to balance your attack speed with your other nodes. Also, you can deactivate and reactivate nodes as you want. So let's say this is something you want to go past, but you don't actually want this. You can activate it, go past it, and deactivate it. It won't deactivate the rest of the tree. So that is a really nice addition, and it helps with, you know, building stuff without having to compromise and take things that you don't necessarily want to take if they are stuck in the tree. So a very nice addition to it, so you don't have to, you are wasting a skill point, but you aren't necessarily, you know, losing attack speed or adding stats or something to something that you already have. So like here, Meteor Cast to go to health. I don't want Meteor Cast, I don't want the negative 10% for it, so you deactivate it instead. But we're not going that way anyway. We're going to be going over here for, oh, I don't actually know where to go. It's quite an interesting tree we have. This is all projectile, so we don't really want to go there. I think we are just going to go for the life route over here, and there we go. We've got a increased attack speed, so we're going to move to that over there now. As you can see, one red on the skill tree, the red nodes are HP, and it literally just gives you 1 more life. And then every round you do get to you get a free heart. So if you get hurt in the round before, you do get a single heart to heal yourself. But if you don't use that single heart, it does carry over to the next round, I believe. Then you'll have 2. But yeah, that is just how it is. And then each round is timed. So as we can see, there we go. I deactivate Meteor Cast because I don't need it. And then we are going to head to our attack speeds and then another scattering hit. So as you can see, each round is timed. you do get, and each round gets increased in time. So right now we're on about 26 seconds. It does slowly and gradually go up. But the only thing I find is that it would be better if it had an enemy count instead of a timer. And the reason I'm saying this is because even the very last boss, the final boss, is timed, and they still consider it a victory as long as you survive. You don't actually have to kill the boss, you just need to survive. And for me, that's a bit of a situation, because I would rather have to kill it than say, oh, I survived it. So it's just I guess it is survival, you know, it's called a survival, so maybe surviving is fine. But to me, I personally feel like, okay, rather make us kill it, especially if it's a boss fight. Like now, we've got like a mini boss here. Rather make it so we have to kill it, as opposed to, no, we need to just live. So there, we did kill it. You do get more XP from these things as well. So maybe that's why they don't let you kill them per se. But yeah, as you can see, it is on expert. Things you do get more summon, well, not more summons, more enemies on expert. And you can see it is starting to affect us. Let's go to Cycle of Might. This is like your whirlwind from Cyclone from PoE, or those whirlwind type of skills. So we are going to grab that. We're then going to grab this increase to attack speed again, because as soon as we take something like double hit, which we will be taking, it is going to lower our attack speed. Alright, so like I mentioned before, if you don't grab the health from the round before, that does heal you. So now, as you can see, our mace is continuously spinning around us. The amount of speed that it spins around us with is affected by the amount of attack speed that we have as well. So that is why we go for attack speed, even though the amount of speed later on doesn't quite matter. You do so much damage with everything else. As you can see, we do have our scattering, where is it? The scattering hits. So every time our melee hits an enemy, it creates scattering projectiles. It is stackable, so the more times we click on this, the more projectiles are going to start flying out as well, and it can become quite insane. So we're going to start heading up here. We don't need the empowered companions. We're going to grab the scattering hit, and we got another double hit and an attack speed over there as well. So we're going to grab those as well. As you can see, our hearts are starting to grow more and more. So we just got to keep going. Another thing is there is a dash in the game. I did speak about it earlier, but you're going to see I probably hardly ever use it. The only time I'm probably going to use it is on the final boss, or one or two of the mini bosses, if you want to call them that. But otherwise, I don't think the dash is all that important. There might be a time or two where it saves you, maybe not on this level, but maybe on the further levels it does get a bit harder, and therefore you need to be able to dash a bit more. But for now, even though this is on the hardest difficulty on this stage, you'll see that I'm hardly going to be dashing. Although, in saying that, if I did dash, I probably wouldn't get hit as often as I will. So that's also something to take into consideration, that I do take quite a few hits, and I probably don't have to if I used the dash correctly. But here we go. As you can see, things are dying a lot sooner, a lot quicker now. And you can see how that just affects us in a way that we don't have to be overrun. And I say that while we are being overrun. Alright, so now we're going to go up here. We've got 2 attack speeds which we're going to grab. We don't really, I mean, we'll grab that, it doesn't hurt us. So we'll grab that, and then the 2 attack speeds. We did pick up 2 more damaging skills as well. So that's going to just help us kill things even faster. So everything, or most things here, are stackable in a sense that they'll end up doing more damage and hitting harder and having the same effect multiplied. So like your projectile amount or your projectile multiplicator. Things like that, they are stackable, so obviously you get more projectiles, and then the multiplicator makes it so that they surround you in a way, so it will start off with them being summoned behind you, and then they start being summoned next to you, and so on and so forth, and it just gets better and better and better. So like double hit, it's doing 102 damage right now. If we had to keep adding more double hits, it would then do more and more damage. So this is like one of the things I said that we'd probably use our dodge on. It's only because the actual spider itself dodges as well, but it did go into the state where it decides to use its weird AoE attack, where you saw all those webs. If you stood in them, you do get hurt. So it allowed us time to just sit there and wail on the boss. So this is one of the builds that I use to beat the game. It has actually got me second on the leaderboard for this level, but we'll see at the end of the round. Maybe we've got even better. Maybe we'll manage to become first. That would be really, really cool if we could. So, you know, keeping our hopes up over here that maybe we can come first on the leaderboard. Alright, but we did take 2 unnecessary hits there. But as you can see, it does become quite cluttered on the screen, and you don't see those projectiles that the enemy shoots. So we're going to go attack speed here, an explosive hit, and we can actually grab this node and get rid of it, and we're going to go for the attack speed over here, and we're going to start making our way to these scattering hits and these increased attack speeds as well. Alright, so we have to survive this round without getting hit if I want to get more life, because you only get 1 life per round, unfortunately. The other way to get life is to just take the life nodes. It gives you a full heart, so that's kind of a way to cheese it if you do take damage and you can't heal it back. There is also a life leech skill, but I have not unlocked it as of yet. Some of the unlock conditions for some of the skills are actually quite difficult, and you do have to be quite good to unlock them. So there is that as well. Also, I just haven't, I think to get one of the skills you have to finish the game with 3 hearts. So I haven't done that, and that's just one of the ways to do it. So many different ways to unlock skills, even unlocking Cyclone, the mace. I had to do something, I can't actually remember what it was, but there are things like finish the game with a 0.34 attack speed to unlock a totem that you get as a skill, which attacks for you. So you don't attack, the totem gets spawned and attacks for you. So there are so many different types of builds that you can do already in the demo. I've already been playing for over 4 hours, so there's definitely a lot of time to be spent in the game, doing all the difficulties, unlocking all the different skills, and seeing the most insane build that you can at the current time. So definitely worth a download and worth your time. Definitely go take a look at the game. I don't think there's anything else I've missed with regards to explaining how certain things worked. I don't think I went over what each skill did. We can do that once we level up after this round. We'll just quickly go through the skills that I've got, because I'm sure you're looking at things. Those balls are projectiles. Every character has to start with both melee and projectiles. It is auto-aimed. I don't believe there is any skill right now that you need to actually manually aim for them, but I do believe in the future there are going to be skills that you do have to manually aim, and that is why it's there. So even the dodge function, you don't have to aim to dodge. It dodges wherever you are moving in that direction. So let's just quickly look at the skills we've got. We've got Scattering Hit, we've known that one. We've got Wind Shock, so our melee attacks have 50% chance to create a Wind Shock. It knocks back enemies and deals damage. The damage scaling is with your skill stacks and melee damage. Then we've got Double Hit, which deals additional melee damage when hitting enemies. and it scales with melee damage. The attack size scales with AoE, and then explosive hit, which scales with our melee damage, and the area scales with area of effect. So as you can see, we do want quite a lot of area of effect, which is these over here, as well as melee damage, which is this over here. So we are going to go that route afterwards, but let's just carry on for now. We are dealing quite a lot of damage already, so we don't really have to worry too much about damage. I think we can just chill. We're in a good spot right now. We've got a new enemy spawning, this weird centipede who charges at us. Those bats as well, they cause these weird like area of effects that you have to stay out of, otherwise they deal damage after a certain amount of time. And then there is these fleas and the spiders, which you've seen already, and these weird ghoul things, I think they're like earthworms, that shoot at you. So they are the most irritating. They always hit me with their projectiles. We just got hit by one of the bats as well, and by his projectiles, so we got hit twice this round already, which is extremely irritating. Like I said, they are the ones that do hit me, and it's irritating. Okay, we're going to go for AoE and melee damage. We've also got 2 double hits here, and we've got 2 attack speeds over there as well for after the double hits. Alright, this boss is a very irritating one. He probably hits me more than the final boss does, but we do just stay in like right here, and we are in a decent spot, except we kind of have the we had the traps land up on us, so we got hit quite a lot of times there, unfortunately, but he is dead right now. So we actually aren't in a very good spot with a laugh, but we still okay. I think we'll be fine. Otherwise, you know, this is just a trial, a demo, and with regards to how I feel about the game itself, this is actually really cool. It's got a different art style. Each weapon looks different. The attacks of each weapon look different as well, so they don't all do the exact same thing, which is really nice. So it's not just like a reskin, reprint, you know, a different weapon, but same skill or same, you know, all of that stuff. Every skill looks different, every weapon looks different, and they all do different things, which is really, really nice. So as you can see, our skill tree is growing. We are going to put, we got 4 skill points there, so we can go like that, and I think we need to put into life as well. So we're going to go here, we'll do projectile damage, and then life and attack speed. Trying to think. We do need area of effect. I do think it's going to be important for us, so we are going to try and get more. There was that life, area of effect, and melee damage on the one side, although I think we did just pick that up, so I don't know what I'm talking about. But we do need to try and look for area of effect. That's somewhere easy to get, because that is going to help us also deal more damage, as well as keep us safer because of our wind shock skill, knocking enemies back. Alright, being timed as well means that you can't always pick up all of the XP, which I don't like. I do want to pick up all of the XP I drop on the floor, because I want the most amount of damage and level ups as possible, just to make me as strong as possible. So let's have a look to see if we can find any easy area of effects to grab. Here's some over here. There's 2. We're going to grab those ones and another double hit down here, and we will keep going from there. Okay, get that life. We did get a movement speed one now, a movement speed buff now as well, which is fantastic. So now we can move out of danger. Again, like I said, we hardly use the dodge. I don't feel like it helps. I really don't feel like you dodge far enough to see a difference. So that's why I don't use it. I mean, that's the dodge there. Yes, it is far, and it probably would help us, but the enemies dodge as well. Not dodge, but they dash into you. So you're going to dodge, and then the other 10 enemies that are surrounding you are just going to dash into you anyway. So I don't really see a point to the dodge. I don't see, the only thing that I find a problem is that over here, like, we're killing things and they're all around us, and then one of them are going to spawn on top of us, and that causes a problem. But there is going to be an update where that is fixed, where the area that the enemies spawn in isn't going to be so... you'll be able to see it more than what you currently can, so that's going to be quite helpful as well. So we got more area of effect and another projectile. The projectile's not needed, but it doesn't hurt us in any negative way, so we can keep it. It's also an extra like 30 damage if all projectiles hit the target, so it's okay to have, you know, free damage. Alright, so we're dealing a decent amount of damage. You can see our wind shock is a lot bigger now, and that's because of our area of effect. It does make a big difference, and it certainly does help you to survive longer. And as you can see, I walked into the spawn of the enemies, and that's what I'm talking about. Those spawns are going to become more visible. I did chat to the dev to tell him, you know, can we change that, because when it gets to like this in the game, it does become quite difficult to see things, and I don't think that's fair to a lot of people. A lot of people aren't going to be able to see things, and it's going to end up killing them, and it's just not cool. So we're going to go for some Clash of Steel over here. We actually have a lot of melee skills that we can get. Let's go for the double hit as well, increase its damage, and let's go. So Clash of Steel is that huge sword around us. There's just a chance to have it spawn. Also, because we are playing on the hardest difficulty, I didn't mention it, but there are these traps. I'm sure you've been looking at them the entire game. I didn't mention them. You only get them on the two last difficulties. On the first difficulty of the game, there isn't any skulls for us. I mean, not skulls. There isn't any traps for us to worry about. The traps are only available on the two harder difficulties. So if you don't want the traps, you can play on the easier mode. But there are also less enemy spawns, and obviously they've got less life as well, so it will be a lot easier. But with regards to like leaderboards and things like that, obviously you're going to have a less of a score and lower level than if you had to do it on the harder difficulties. So those things to keep in mind. Alright, so that was our last level. We've got the last we're on the final level now, and this is the final boss. This is the only time I dodge, and that's because the boss itself dodges into you as well, and we don't want to take free hits if necessary. So as you can see, when you got a certain build, the boss is really easy to kill. You just got to run around it in a circle, you know, as if I'm playing Soulstone Survivors. The boss did dash into us there, unfortunately, and we did get hurt. But he is dead, quick and easy, just like that. And as you can see, we have liftoff. So now we do have to still survive for 40 seconds, and it can get quite crazy. And we will see what we get as not a level up, but as what we get on the leaderboards for our current run. So I am actually second on the leaderboard already. Maybe this was a run that was good enough to give us first, but I don't think so. I'm not quite sure, but we can only see. I'm not sure how the scores work. I don't know if it's from XP picked up or if it's from enemies killed. It's probably from XP, and as you can see, there's a lot of XP I haven't picked up. But anyway, that's definitely not first, unfortunately. As you can see, our one, we got 141,000 XP and level 31. So we only got level 29 with 125,000 XP. But that is how the game works. Again, let me show you. So this one over here was the melee construct, the totem I showed you. So we had to complete wave 10 with an attack speed below 0.3. It is very possible. And then there are other things like exploding projectiles. This one's a lot harder. We have to reach 4 projectiles at the end of wave 2. That is extremely RNG based, because you have to get a tree where you get a lot of the projectiles out there. The other thing is to maybe get a unlock this character, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is Striving for Light. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. And always remember, keep safe, survivors. Until next time, cheers.